Degradation of wetland. Wetlands অবক্ষয়. The degradation of wetland can occur due to various human activities and natural processes, leading to significant ecological and environmental consequences. Some common causes of wetland degradation include habitat loss and fragmentation. Wetlands are often drained, filled, or converted for agriculture, urban development, infrastructure projects, and other land uses. These habitat loss and fragmentation disrupt wetland ecosystem, reduce habitat availability for wildlife, and fragmentation populations, leading to decline in biodiversity. Two হচ্ছে population. Wetlands are vulnerable to pollution from various sources, including agricultural runoff, industrial discharge, urban stormwater runoff, and sewage effluent. Pollution can degrade water quality, harm aquatic life, disrupt ecological process, and impair wetland functions such as nutrient cycling and filtration. Alteration of hydrology. Changes in natural hydrological regime due to drainage, dam construction, water diversions, and groundwater extraction can disrupt the water balance of wetland. Alteration in hydrology can lead to reduced water availability, increased flooding or drought, changes in water flow pattern, and loss of wetland habitat and associated species. Overexploitation. Unsustainable harvesting of wetland resources such as timber, fish, wildlife, and medicinal plant can deplete wetland ecosystem and impair their ability to support biodiversity and provide ecosystem services. Overexploitation can lead to decline in wildlife population, loss of ecosystem functions, and degradation of wetland habitat. 6 হচ্ছে climate change. Climate change impact such as rising temperature, altered precipitation pattern, sea level rise, and increased frequency and intensity of extreme weather event pose additional threat to wetland. Climate change can exacerbate existing stressors, leading to habitat loss, ecosystem shift, and increased vulnerability of wetland ecosystem. Impact of wetland degradation. The degradation of wetland can have significant impact on both environment and human societies. Some of the key impact include loss of biodiversity. Wetlands are among the most biologically diverse ecosystem on Earth, providing habitat for numerous plant and animal species. Wetland degradation can lead to habitat loss, fragmentation, and destruction, resulting in decline in biodiversity and loss of species richness. 2 হচ্ছে impaired ecosystem services. Wetland provide a wide range of ecosystem services including water purification, flood control, carbon sequestration, and recreational opportunities. Degradation of wetland can impair these ecosystem services, leading to reduced water quality, increased flood risks, loss of carbon sink, and decreased opportunities for recreation and tourism. Disruption of hydrological functions. Wetlands play a critical role in regulating water flow and storage, helping to mitigate flood, drought, and erosion. Degradation of wetland can disrupt hydrological function, leading to altered water flow pattern, increased flooding or drought, and loss of groundwater research areas, loss of cultural and societal benefit. Wetlands have cultural significance for many indigenous people and local communities, providing spiritual, recreational, and economic benefit. Degradation of wetland can lead to loss of traditional livelihood, cultural heritage, and community cohesion, impacting the well-being and identity of affected communities. Increase vola, vol, vulner, vulnerability vulnerability of to climate change. Wetland degradation can exer, exa, exacerbate exacerbate the impact of climate change, making ecosystem more vulnerable to rising temperatures, alter precipitation pattern, and extreme weather event. Loss of wetland reduce their ability to buffer against climate change impacts such as sea level rise, storm surges, and coastal erosion. Economic cost. Wetland degradation can have significant economic cost, including loss of ecosystem services, increased food damage, decline in fisheries and tourism revenue, and expenses associated with habitat restoration and mitigation effort. This economic impact can affect local economy, livelihood, and long-term sustainability. Addressing the Addressing the impact of wetland degradation requires coordinated effort to conserve and restore this valuable ecosystem, protect their biodiversity and ecological functions, and promote sustainable management practices that balance human need with environmental conservation. Organizations involved in wetland conservation, GOs, NGOs, and international NGOs. Ramsar Convention on Wetland and International Treaty for Conservation and Sustainable Use of Wetland, providing a framework for government action and international cooperation. The Ramsar Convention designate wetland of international importance and promote their conservation through science, policy, and capacity building initiative. 2. Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF work globally to conserve wetland and their biodiversity, focusing on habitat protection, sustainable management, policy, advocacy, and community engagement. WWF support wetland conservation projects in various regions, including the Amazon basin, the Mekong Delta, and the African Great Lake. The Nature Conservancy (TNC). TNC is a leading conservation organization that works to protect wetland and their associated species and ecosystem. TNC employs science-based approach, land acquisition, restoration project and policy advocacy to conserve wetland in priority areas around the world. 4 হচ্ছে ওয়েটল্যান্ড ইন্টারন্যাশনাল। Wetland International is a non-profit organization dedicated to the conservation and restoration of wetland worldwide. It works with government, local communities, and other stakeholders to promote wetland conservation, sustainable management, and wise use practices. United Nations Environment Program UNEP support wetland conservation efforts through initiatives such as Global Peatland Initiative and the Global Environment Facility. UNEP provide technical assistance, capacity building, and policy support to countries for wetland conservation and sustainable management. IUCN International Nation for Conservation of Nature. IUCN is a global authority of the status of natural world and the measures needed to safeguard it. It works on wetland conservation through research, policy, advocacy, capacity building, and collaboration with government and civil society organizations. National Wildlife Federation NWF work on wetland conservation in United States through initiatives such as Great Lake Restoration Program and the Gulf of Mexico Program. It engages in habitat restoration, policy advocacy, and public education to protect wetland and their wildlife. This organization, among others, play crucial roles in wetland conservation effort, working to protect and restore this valuable ecosystem for benefit and of both people and nature. Future strategies for management and sustainable development of wetland resources. Future strategies for management and sustainable development of wetland should prioritize the following approaches. Integrated management approach. Implement integrated management approaches that consider the multiple functions and values of wetland, such as biodiversity conservation, water regulation, climate mitigation, and socio-economic benefit. Adopt holistic and ecosystem-based management approaches that address the interconnectedness of wetland ecosystem and their surrounding landscape. Policy and legal framework. Strengthen policy and legal framework at national and international level to support wetland conservation, restoration, and sustainable use. Enhance enforcement mechanism. Establish protected area network and integrate wetland consideration into land use planning, water management, and coastal zone management policies. Collaboration and partnership. Foster collaboration and partnership among government, civil society organizations, academia, private sector entities, and international organizations to mobilize resources, share knowledge, and coordinate action for wetland conservation and sustainable development. Strengthen cross-sectoral and multi-stakeholder initiatives that address the complex challenges facing wetland and their surrounding landscape. Capacity building and awareness raising. Build the capacity of government, institution, and stakeholders to effectively manage and conserve wetland. Provide training, technical assistance, and resources for wetland monitoring, research, restoration, and sustainable management practices. Raise awareness among policymakers, practitioners and general public among value of wetland and the importance of their conservation. Science and innovation invest in scientific research, monitoring, and innovation to improve understanding of wetland ecosystem, their functions, and the impact of human activities and climate change. Develop and apply innovative technologies and tools for wetland assessment, mapping, restoration, and adaptive management. Climate reliance and adaptation enhance the reliance of wetland to climate change impact through adaptive management measures such as restoring natural hydrological regime, conserving coastal buffer, and enhancing ecosystem connectivity. Integrate climate change consideration into wetland management plan and strategies to mitigate risks and enhance adaptive capacity. By implementing these strategies, we can work toward the sustainable management and development of wetland, ensuring their conservation for future generation while maximizing their ecological, economical, and social benefit.